What are we doing today?
Nama Om Vishnu, you will find out. All will be revealed. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachaline Nirvasesha Sunyavari Pashtatchada Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so we have been doing a series which we've entitled The Holy Name, The Map Towards Love, and we're on part 4 of that. Okay, so it's taken us on a journey of how and in what way the holy name reveals itself to the pure devotee, to those who are chanting without offense. So that's what we've been discussing. And we're going quite deep, and some of you might recognize a lot of what we're bringing out or what we're teaching here as coming from our reading on the Sankalpa Kaumudi by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj. For those of you, I think many or most of you were here for that reading, and we completed the whole book. So I've taken sections of it out to form this presentation. So this is number 4, okay? And I won't go through every slide because we already did a review of the slides last week. So I'm just going to show the pictures of the slides, if that's okay. You can guess what's about. So I'd say a little something about it. I can't resist. So this is the holy name making its the holy name is revealing the glories, the treasure of the holy name as we chant the holy name without offense. And some advice coming from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah, we went over some good advice for those who want to go deep in their bhajan. It's advisable as we make vows to chant the fixed number of rounds daily without distraction or disturbance. Yeah. And also, this is an instruction we've heard many times, but especially to develop deep absorption in the holy name. We good to be in good association. Yeah, we want to lead a spiritual life. We don't know, it's difficult for a person who's leading a worldly life. So we want to keep things, what's it? Keep simple, not simple thinking, simple living, high thinking. Yeah. And we spoke about confident enthusiasm, meaning Krishna is merciful and he will give us his mercy. No devotee has ever been without Krishna's mercy. Yeah. But when it comes, is Krishna's sweet grace. So that should cause us to be enthusiastic in our bhajan. So yeah, to define that more, I'm just going to go ahead a bit. Okay, and then we here. And then we had this discussion. Remember this discussion? We brought out this verse. One does not have to undergo initiation or execute the activities required before initiation, Purusharthana. You just chant the holy name. So then we had a discussion on why do we take Diksha? Yeah, we had that discussion. And I think, what was the conclusion? Why do we take Diksha?
Wasn't it to be connected to the...
Yeah, I think Mother Rajkishore brought it out. Yeah. Because it's not the holy name that needs Diksha, it's us. And we was bringing out, if we didn't take vows to chant the holy name, there's a good chance we might not continue chanting 16 rounds. But because we made that commitment to the Guru, then it helps. So in that way, we're dependent upon initiation, but the holy name is not dependent. Yeah. So because from initiation, then you also what helps us greatly is to be regulated in life. And that's very much helped by engaging in deity worship. which helps to bring us to the mode of goodness. And then that helps us conditioned souls, to chant the holy name. Yeah. So we need all the help we can get. So we had that discussion. And then this is from, where's it from? This is from Jiva Goswami. He mentions 6 aspects of mantra cultivation. So we went through that and some interesting points there. Smaranam, to focus the mind on the ability to focus on a transcendental sound. Again, lead a shaucham, a life of cleanliness and purity. Mona, not engage in frivolous prajalpa, helps us to remain concentrated on the holy name, etc. Mantra chintanam means we should know the meaning of the Maha Mantra. Yeah, we should know what it means. Yeah, and as okay, and avyagratva means someone who's not distracted. Anyway, and not indifference. So we mentioned that, we spoke about that. And then we mentioned a little bit about, which we're going to get into this a bit more today. The question comes up, do we cultivate an effort to go through remembrance of Krishna's name, form, qualities, or should we just hear the mantra? Yeah, we had that discussion. Should we just hear the mantra? Yeah, so there's 2 ways a devotee may be inspired. One devotee may be inspired to bring, when they're chanting the holy name with fixed attention, they may be inspired to bring picture, for example, of Krishna to their mind. Other devotees they will just meditate upon the mantra, and the mantra itself will open up like a flower and reveal Krishna himself. We speak about that. And we got up to here. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so this we've gone over in our Srila Bhakti Chintamani readings a couple of years ago, and we've gone over it, I'm sure, in our Samkalpa Kaumudi readings. So please don't mind. Here we are, going to go over it 3 times. 3rd time, but I find it inspiring myself to hear of this, because it gives you something to aspire for. So when it comes to meditating upon Krishna's pastimes for the accomplished devotee, there's 2 kinds of pastimes. So one is known as mantramayi and svarasiki. Anyone knows what these are to begin with?
I can guess.
Guess, have a guess, yeah.
Mantra is so completely, I'm assuming, dedicated or absorbed in the mantra. Swara is,
Yeah, what's the sense? You know, it's swara.
I'm just trying to think.
Freedom.
Huh?
Freedom. Like freedom.
Oh,
Voice,
nice.
freedom.
Chant and hear. Svarasiki should be chant and hear.
Yeah. Yeah. So swara is speaking, isn't it? Is speaking, is swara. Voice.
Okay. Sanskrit is an interesting language because according to a context, words have different meanings. Yeah. So here, anyway, so not bad. As Mother Chandravali, you said free?
Free, kind of freedom, like chanting.
Freedom. Okay, so that's more closely to what the context means here. So basically, if devotees doing Smaran of Krishna's pastimes, just meditating upon the individual pastime, a specific scene, Mother Yasoda binding Krishna. That's known as mantramayi. Yeah. So this mantramayi, meditating upon the single like frame of pastime. And this from the Brahma Samhita. which we chant in the mornings. I worship Govinda. This is Lord Brahma's mantramayi meditation upon Krishna, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and whose unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. All right. Now, the role it plays for an accomplished devotee in Nam Bhajan is that they're chanting the holy name and they're within their subconscious mind, while the holy name is fully invigorating their heart and mind, they are meditating on this. They are meditating on this. While and then the holy name is revealing the glories of this. You follow? It's called mantramayi. And there's other verses that Vaishnavas learn just to engage in mantramayi meditation. Right? So quite an accomplished state of Nam Bhajan or chanting. You follow? Yeah? So this is individual pastimes. Now, those pastimes which are in a sequence, which are unfolding, yeah, which are unfolding throughout the morning or unfolding throughout the day, or particular pastime of Radha and Krishna, that's called svarasiki, flowing. Like, it's just very interesting. Chandravali said, free, kind of free flowing, svarasiki. Now, devotees generally wouldn't engage in svarasiki. It's very accomplished. Even Jiva Goswami says it's very difficult to achieve. But he says devotees will not enter into svarasiki unless they're really accomplished in mantramayi. Yeah. So only after, here I've got a note here. Devotees eager to engage in meditating Krishna's pastimes may do so only after their chanting has come, or the chanting of the holy name is manifesting as non-different Krishna's name, obviously, form and qualities. Then next comes Leela. Okay? Now, so this is one mantramayi from the Brahma Samhita. Yeah. Now, here, more notes here, important here. So next is the Svarasiki. This is also known as Astakalya Leela meditation. You heard of this was? Astakalya Leela. Anyone know what Astakalya Leela means? Asta means?
8.
8. Kalya?
Kalya is a pastime of the Lord where he steps on the snake and...
No. Kalya, no. Interesting. No, it's Krishna's pastimes as they unfold through the 8 parts of the day.
So can I just, if you like says lunchtime, like noon, you think, oh, okay, they having pastime as Radhakund.
Yeah, Krishna's Radhakund.
Yeah. You know, so is that's, then you just said that we shouldn't be meditating on, that's Svarasiki then, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, now, such meditation, no, it's not that we shouldn't be, but such meditation for us is generally going to be a mental impression from what we have read, which we recall when chanting. Yeah, it says, so in other words, so such meditation, really, that's a characteristic of someone at the stage of bhava. Yeah. Now, having said that, those who are attracted to Krishna's pastimes, and that's their inspiration in spiritual life, they're known as Raganuga devotees, Raganuga sadhakas. If they have at a stage of attachment and they have a specific attraction for Krishna's pastimes, they can meditate, but there will be a qualitative difference, because this devotee stage of bhava, these pastimes are appearing by the internal potency. Whereas for the Raganuga sadhaka, it's a strong mental impression.
Yeah, like a
You understand?
picture.
But still, it's purifying and it's a wonderful experience. But there's a qualitative difference. Yeah.
So when one, like if you see, not meditate, but like you said, picture-wise, you
Yeah.
see like Krishna is coming Radha on his hair and, or painting a foot of that. So that's mantramayi?
Yeah, that's it's mantramayi is one particular lila that you're meditating upon, or picture of a lila.
Picture. Let's just,
Yeah.
beginner of everything. So
I mean, generally, I mean, these are what we're speaking about is like advanced chanting, but we can have some sojourns and try if we're feeling we're absorbed in the holy name and we've read some pastimes that inspire us, and we may find our mind going to these pastimes. It's not unknown. Yeah. So which is good. Now the next section, which we start today, number 5, if we have time, is going to go into the different stages of Smarana a bit more. Yeah. So you got the idea. So mantramayi and svarasiki. These are
that's
two
what I wanted to put it into kind of pictures.
context. Yeah.
Context, that's the word.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just words. But now I can put kind of a picture to each word.
Yeah. So this is the idea: is that the idea if we're chanting the Maha Mantra, the experience should be different after 5 years. The experience will be deeper after 10 years. The experience should be even deeper after 15 years, even deeper after 20 years. 25 years chanting the same mantra should be deeper. 30 years, more deeper. 35 years, 40 years, 45 years, 50 years of chanting the Maha Mantra. Then hopefully we should be entering into these different meditations. But remember the first class we gave on this? Attentive and inattentive bhajan. Yeah, remember that? It all starts from being attentive. You're not going to make progress in this direction if one is chanting inattentively. Yeah. So that we have to work on. We want to chant. We want to get to the stage where we're chanting 16 attentive rounds, and we're happy to do it. It's not. We're not at war. We're having it. We're relishing it. We're relishing 16 rounds. So we have a lot to work on. Yeah. Hopefully, this will inspire us to go forward. This is why I find this inspiring myself, because I really would like to be able to chant at this level. And here's an example of svarasiki. This is from a favorite book of Vaishnavas for meditation is the Govinda Lilamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Yeah, the Govinda Lilamrita. Another one is the Krishna Bhavaramrita by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where they explain, and Shivaram Swami Maharaj has given us a lot of these pastimes in his books, Venu Gita, Parayaham, etc. Yeah. So this is from Govinda Lilamrita. May that Krishna, who daily returns from the groves to his village at the end of night, milks the cows and eats his meals in the morning and evening, who plays with his friends and herds the cows in the late morning, dallies with Radha in the forest at midday, and at night returns to the village in the late afternoon, and pleases his friends in the late evening, protect us all. Yeah. So Krishnadas Kaviraj details the eightfold daily pastimes of Krishna. Yeah. So that serves as an inspiration, and also gives ingredients for devotees' meditation. Yeah, for the serious sadhaka. Yeah. All right. So bit more notes here. But any questions so far? Yeah, there's a bit more here. I think we've covered that basically. So, okay.
Mhm.
Now then, this is interesting here. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is the from his Kalyana Kalpataru. There's one book. There's many books he wrote, but this one book is nicely describes. He describes the holy name in 6 features. Yeah, we see these are the different stages of bhakti, as we know: Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Shakti, Bhava, Prema. Yeah. So he describes the level of faith that one has at Shraddha is considered to be equivalent to a paisa. Yeah, interesting picture he gives it. So that's a semblance of the name. I mean, it's a semblance. It's not the actual, the full manifestation of the name. At the early stages, one's faith is at the level of a paisa. Okay.
It makes sense because, like, just as a beginner, paisa is the lowest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Shraddha, as you're first coming into the sangha of devotees and you have faith in them, you have faith in what they say, and so chanting at the stage of Shraddha. And the next one is when you got Shraddha, Anartha Nivritti, yeah, then Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, then Nishta. So when one is at the stage of Nishta, when one is fixed, then one's faith is considered to be 1/8 of a silver coin. So that may, if you have 1/8 of a silver coin, you can bargain with Krishna and you can enter into Rupa Yukta Nam, which means the Nam is revealing the form. Yeah? Rupa form, Yukta Nam. So Nishta. So there's a Nishta means, you could say in Nishta, in essence, it means although there's impediments still that lurk within the heart and the mind, it does not impede you. You continue engaging in Shravanam Kirtanam despite the difficulties that come from within and without. You continue the path. You pick up your japa beads and you chant, regardless of what the material energy is throwing at you. Yeah, as means one is fixed. So that's 1/8 of a silver coin. So the rupa, the form, one will find it easy to meditate upon the form of Krishna. One may meditate upon Krishna's lotus feet and the symbols in his lotus feet. It may be easily accessible to the devotee. Next is after Nishta is Ruchi, which means taste. So this is 1/8. This is worth 1/4 of a silver coin. So then Guna Yukta Nam. So from that form manifests, the qualities become appreciable by the devotee in their Nam Bhajan. Krishna's kindness, his compassion, and his qualities are there in the Nectar of Devotion. Rupa Goswami lists 64 qualities, I think. Yeah. And then next stage, Ruchi, then attachment. Just like we have natural attachment to the material energy, we have natural attraction. Yeah, we don't have to convince ourselves to be attracted. We're attracted. So in the same way, at the Shakti, one has a natural attraction to Krishna. Yeah, even they say, even despite themselves, devotees' faults flow towards Krishna. Yeah, so that's a Shakti. So that's 1/2 of a silver coin level of faith. So then Leela Yukta Nam as pastimes. Then the pastimes become something which is available as a meditation for such a devotee. And here's a note. This is the final stage of sadhana. Yeah. At the stage of bhava, one is liberated, and one is beginning liberation, the stage of liberation. So that's considered a full silver coin. Rasita. Now, what does that mean? Yeah, Rasita. Yeah, and Rasita means one is I took some notes earlier. It means this is advanced stage, obviously, bhava, one's liberated, this from their material conditioning, from material bondage. So this rasata name, it's revealing one enters into rasa. All right. Well, what's that? What does that mean? Rasa. It sounds quite esoteric. So one is stayabhav. One is attracted to Krishna in a specific mellow. Yeah. Stahibhav means cowherd boy, cowherd girl, or parenthood. Yeah, that's the consistent relationship, the dominant emotion. This is the constituents of rasa. Okay, and then from that, I'm just looking here. My note is called vibhava. So there's certain things in Krishna that stimulate ecstasy. For the gopis, there's certain aspects of Krishna. For the gopis, there's certain aspects of Krishna. For Mother Yasoda, there's certain traits of Krishna that stimulates a particular emotion. Yeah, it's vibhava. And then there's anubhava, which means it manifests as tears, trembling. It has effect on the physical body. Yeah. Then there's vyapachari bhava. This is all from Nectar of Devotion. So that means the physical effects start to produce other effects. It's quite intense. To other emotions. And then sanchari bhav. Then sattvika bhav, which means one has the emotions control or the emotions are so strong that one is unable to hide them or control them. One is controlled by them. Okay. All right. So then there's prema. What can we say about that? Inconceivable, but one is experiencing there. So that's a full gold coin. So the full transcendental mellow. So what at the bhava one may feel attracted to Krishna in a certain way, but the stage of prema, one actually enters into a specific relationship with Krishna. Okay. Any questions on that? That ends part 4. Okay. Inspiring to hear?
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully, yes. All right. Let me dig out the next part here. Okay. All right. Let me do some adjustment here. We have some more devotees joining us. So I guess because the time is more suitable.
Yeah.
That's Mother Jambavati's house is here.
Yes, I'm here, Prabhu
Hare
Haribol. We
Krishna.
missed you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mother Jambavati
Hare
house.
Krishna, Prabhu. Please never leave us. Please never leave us again.
Yes.
Yeah, good to be back in one sense, yes. So, all right, now remember that this discussion, we've been discussing these stages, all right? Remember this, Shravan Das?
Yeah.
Discussed that, Varana Das, the stage of acceptance, and Smarana Das, the stage of remembrance. All right, now we're going to unpack a bit more this stage of remembrance. We just discussed it to some degree, but we're going to more unpack it here. So Smarandas, so this Smarandas has in itself has 5 stages. So there's 5 stages of absorption, and within Smarandas that's divided into 5 stages. All right, just to confuse us, no? Now, these 5 stages are these which we've spoken about to some degree. Yeah. Smar, dharana, dhyana, anusmriti, samadhi. So these are different levels of ability to meditate. Yeah, even if you're practicing, those who are practicing Astanga yoga or some type of yogic meditation, they will speak about these different stages of accomplishment in meditation. Smaran, dharana, dhyana, anusmriti, samadhi. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Prabhupada quotes Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Nectar of Instruction, and he mentions these stages in relationship to Nam Bhajan. All right, so we're going to look at that. Yeah. Okay, we ready? Okay. So this is from Jiva Goswami. This is just a synopsis. Remembrance unfolds in 5 stages. To somehow or another think of Krishna is known as Smaran, or remembrance. To withdraw the mind from external objects and concentrate it on the Lord is dharana, or concentration. To precisely reflect on the Lord's name, form, and other attributes is called dhyana, or meditation. When remembrance proceeds without interruption, like a continuous flow of nectar, it is called dhruvana smriti, or constant remembrance. And when the object of meditation is manifest without awareness, even of one's own self, it is called samadhi or trance. Okay, it's quite intriguing. One doesn't even realize, one is not conscious of oneself that is meditating. One's so absorbed in the object of meditation. So this is from Jiva Goswami. He's Bhakti Sandarbha. Yeah. All right, so the first stage here, Smaran. All right.
We saw this slide before.
Yeah, because I like this slide. I like the head.
The head bit.
Yeah,
Not
and they've
the
actually edited this slide now that the chakra stops here and his head's still on his torso. But okay, so what's this got to do with Smaran? All right. So basically, this is the beginning stage of meditation. So remembrance of Krishna, it more or less happens by circumstantial arrangement, more than by effort. Yeah, for instance, we have Shishupal. He's meditating upon Krishna at the present moment. Somehow or another, circumstances has forced him to remember Krishna. Yeah. So when he's standing before Shishupal or Duryodhan, yeah. Now, what's powerful about this is that although it's a very beginner stage of remembrance of Krishna, it clears one from all offenses. Yeah. And one is liberated, like Shishupal achieved liberation. Yeah. So what to speak if devotees are trying to recall Krishna's name or form with devotion? If even the demons become liberated, what wonderful effects can it have of a devotee who is doing Nam Bhajan and trying to remember Krishna's name? Yeah. Now, but having said that, it's not a steady form of remembrance. Some of us might experience this. So one tries to hear the Mahamantra, but the next moment, the mind and senses are in the daily news or in what's going on, whatever it may be in our personal lives. Yeah. So one is trying, but despite one's best efforts, the mind and senses take one somewhere else. Again, he or she tries, again, the mind slips away. Now, again and over again. Yeah. Now, we may despair, we may be a bit, it's so difficult. But someone's watching us try. Yeah. Who is watching us try?
Krishna.
Krishna. And that's pleasing him. You're pleasing Krishna by trying, even if you're failing. You're trying. Yeah. And then sometimes we may be successful. Yeah. Then it brings a great happiness. So this constant effort at recollection, this constant effort to meditate upon the Maha Mantra, it removes all what is inauspicious from the heart. Yeah. Just that effort. And expands our devotee's good fortune. Basically, it dispels material contamination just by making the effort. And that trying qualifies one for the next stage of remembrance. If you don't try, if you're lazy in your japa and you don't make an effort to focus on the Maha Mantra, you're not going to get to the next stage of Smarana. Yeah. Now, as the devotee gets purified, obviously their devotion grows, and as a natural effect of that, one is endowed with knowledge, yeah, realization, and natural detachment. Yeah. Now, one is constantly trying, getting purified by their effort. Krishna's pleased by their effort. You constantly try, sometimes, and then you start becoming more successful, more times you can meditate. So that means your recollection, that stage is transforming into dharana, which is the next stage. Yeah. Dharana. So here's a verse from the 11th canto, which is speaking about dharana. The mind of one meditating upon the objects of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed in me. So this constant remembrance, this is dharana. Yeah. So the word dri, D-H-R, yeah, which is the verbal root of this word, it means to hold. Yeah. So you have the ability through the purification that's come from the first stage of the heart, you have the ability to hold the holy name in the forefront of your mind. Yeah. That's called dharana. Now, at first, that ability, that absorption may be somewhat weak, but the longer, but the more, but it will intensify and get more deep with practice. So, although we're always dependent upon Krishna all the time, our japa is very much a practice as well. Every day you get to practice being absorbed in Krishna's holy name. Yeah. So at this stage, one has some ability to hold the holy name in the forefront of one's mind. Yeah. But it takes practice. So that you can, the idea at this stage, you can withdraw it from other things. And almost you can fix it at will on the sweet sound of the vibration of the mantra. Yeah, its name and syllables. You can actually do that. You can sit down. You can withdraw your mind from the things going on in your life or whatever, and you can, for that, while you're chanting, you can hold and be fixed in your meditation upon the sound, upon the mantra. Yeah. So this is a general form of remembrance, but it's more systematic. Yeah. So then one becomes attracted. Then there's a natural attraction. Yeah. There's some taste is there. There's a natural attraction to Nam Sankirtan. Yeah. Natural attraction to Krishna's holy name. So the attraction means becoming attracted to Krishna or Radha and Krishna. Yeah. Now sometimes devotees may attempt to meditate. I think there is descriptions like that, where one will just meditate within the mind on the mantra. Yeah. Yeah. Now, it's not, it is an authorized form of dharana, but it's not as effective as loud chanting. Because loud chanting, it engages both the internal and external senses. You can get more absorbed in sound vibration. So basically, our practice is to not engage in silent meditation upon the Maha Mantra. Yeah, Prabhupada says in one purport that the lips should move, sound should be coming out. Prabhupada says a sound should be coming out, the lips should move. That there's more for us to be absorbed in. Yeah.
Prabhu, what about whisper? Like, Hare Krishna, like, like that, or it has to be loud?
No, yeah, you have to hear it. You don't have to shout. When I say loud enough that so that you can hear. So that's japa. Yeah. You don't have to scream or shout. You have to chant so that you can hear. Hare Krishna. So there's just something really audible, something substantial for your mind to be absorbed in. Yeah.
And
Now
not
this,
of the others.
yeah. So this is dharana. So one of the symptoms of this is that obviously this absorption in Krishna is going to awaken a taste. It's going to awaken an attraction. That's something that's more attractive than anything you've ever experienced in the material world. Yeah. Your heart is so attracted to this beautiful, sweet name of Krishna that there's nothing else that compares to it. Yeah. So it's quite powerful. So this, if one is really absorbed, then one becomes, one becomes oblivious in one sense to the demands of the body. So in other words, someone who has a taste for the holy name, they may be tired, but when they start chanting, then they stop being tired. You understand? That they are when they start chanting, then they stop being tired. It's one's got ruchi, one's got taste. Devotees who don't have taste, they start chanting and they become tired. Devotees who do have taste, they may be tired from just 2 or 3 hours sleep the night before or something. But as soon as they start chanting Nam, they become absorbed in the sweet taste of Krishna, of the holy name. Yeah. So one is free, one is free of hunger and thirst. It's quite a, yeah. So this this will one further meditation Krishna's form and qualities. So yeah, at this stage, a devotee cannot get enough. Becomes like a drug addict. He wants more and more and more. Cannot stop. I'm just thinking in that regard of, you can see as senior devotees, they have such a great taste for the holy name. Just thinking now, someone over the picture of Kadamba Kanana Maharaj is in my mind. He would just, he's so much taste for the holy name. Powerful attraction for the holy name. We can see our respective spiritual masters. They have so much attraction for kirtan, Now, here's a description of this from Rupa Goswami at Ruchi at the stage of dharana. This is from Nectar of Instruction. We might know of this. Someone like to read this? They can read. Any readers out there?
Yeah, sure. The holy name, character, pastime, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root.
Okay, this is Nectar of Instruction. So this is someone's chanting at the stage of dharana, ruchi. Yeah. So here, particularly a devotee will, he wonders, how is it I could possibly be illusioned by the taste for sense gratification. There's repentance. There's like a type of repentance. This is such sweet experience. How is it that in illusion, I had a taste for mundane sense gratification? Yeah. So, of course, at this stage, one is kind of one becomes like someone who's mining, what they call a prospector. When they're mining, and they strike a vein of gold. Yeah, they don't just stay at that level. Once they see gold, they go deeper and deeper and deeper to try and find more gold, more gold. That's why mines get deeper and deeper and deeper. So someone at this stage of relish of the holy name, they want to deeper and deeper and deeper, just like a prospector who's mining gold. Yeah. So that's quite isn't it quite a accomplished stage? But that's just the first two stages of Smarana. Okay. Then we have dhyana. It's the next stage. Okay. All right. Let's. So basically everything's just expanding. So it expands here. Remember, it expands in depth and focus, where one is actually, this is an eminent stage of meditation, where one is actually focusing in detail on the object of one's meditation. Remember that we had svarasiki and mantramayi? One's like really absorbed in that meditation. Yeah. So this broadens here, note here, broadens the sadhaka's perception of the holy name. And then now at this stage, one fully appreciates that there is no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna himself. Now we've heard that many times. Yeah. At this stage of dhyana, therefore one actually perceives that. It's not just theoretical. Yeah. The holiness, it is absolutely non-different. This is a nice picture as well, isn't it? I found on where the devotee's meditation is Radha Krishna there, Hare Krishna mantra, and his little japa bag, and So this means Krishna and his form, his attributes, or his qualities and pastimes. Yeah, and we discussed that a little bit already. So these are general aspects of dhyana. So in other words, the mind is unwavering. Yeah, it's the unwavering condition of the mind. So it's all known where one sees Krishna. This is known as, there's a manifestation of Krishna known as spruti. Yeah, a Krishna manifests himself, spruti. Yeah. So the holy names revealing Krishna, his all attractive features, etc. Yeah. Now this from Jiva Goswami says, whereas at dharana, the sadhaka relishes a taste from the sweetness of Krishna's name, form and qualities. Dhyana, this stage, he relishes the additional sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. Yeah. And Jiva Goswami says again, to specifically contemplate the Lord's name, form and other attributes is called dhyana or meditation. Any questions here? See the next one?
I was just thinking.
Yes. Questions, reflections, lamentations.
I was thinking like beginning is like shadows, right?
Yeah.
Like shadow, like just light shadows coming up. But then you work on it, or as you trying to chant better, the shadow will get into
Yeah, form. The shadow
yeah.
will start to become actually manifest. And this is yeah. And this is our life as a devotee. This is the only thing really which we really want to, it's something we want to take seriously in our spiritual life. Everything else is just circumstantial. This is the most important thing in our life, is our chanting of the holy name and the meditation upon Krishna, his name, form, eventually qualities and pastimes. Yeah. Everything else, paying the bills, shopping in Tesco's, going to the aunts, seeing the grandchildren. it's all external. Our real kind of adventure. This is a real adventure to go on. We've no need to watch Netflix. We wanna. This is the adventure that we're on as devotees, and every day we get to kind of enter into that realm and make that effort to be absorbed. This is the life. This is our occupation. Yeah, that's why it's good, as we mentioned these different aspects of 6 aspects of mantra meditation. It's good to know the actual different. It's good to be aware of what we're aspiring for. We're not just trying to aspire to get our rounds chanted. We're aspiring for all these meditations. We should be infused to want to enter these meditations, but we should be careful as well that we shouldn't artificially. We can try, but you'll find it very difficult if we don't have the requisite adhikar, or we haven't gone through the other preceding stages. So we have to be patient as well. So the first stage may be to learn to be attentive, like 16 rounds. But we should be aware of the different stages as well. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock. Let's go another couple of slides. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so back here. So again, dharana, dhyana, sorry. So this will awaken a spontaneous natural attraction to Krishna within the heart. Yeah. So it frees one from all dualities of the world. Yeah. Here it's mentioned. Is beyond the influence of all dualities. Even if a sinner incidentally takes to meditation, he attains the supreme welfare. Yeah. So one is free of all the dualities of the world. Heat, it's too hot, it's too cold. Happiness, distress, this is happening. One is completely transcendental from the experience they're having with the holy name. Yeah. Now, yeah, so also that helps because one is kind of free of worldly troubles, because the taste is so significant that the troubles become really insignificant, and they're not really troubles at all because of the joy one is experiencing. So it's a bit like releasing a handbrake on a car. Anyone try to drive a car with the handbrake on? I've tried that many times. It doesn't work.
It doesn't go anywhere.
But when you take the handbrake off, it's whoosh, goes forward. You have to be careful. So it's like that at this level of dhyana. It's like taking the handbrake off and one is, yeah. Now, I just finished with this here. Now, in the Sringa Purana, gives an example of the Pandavas, who attained this level of achievement. Someone like to read this here? 1, 14, 47, 48. Then we're...
Yeah, I can read it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thus, by pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance, they attain the spiritual sky, which is ruled over by the Supreme Narayana, Lord Krishna. This is attained only by those who meditate upon the one Supreme Lord without deviation. This abode of the Lord Shri Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavan, cannot be attained by persons who are absorbed in the material conception of life, but the Pandavas, being completely washed of all material contamination, attain that abode in their very same bodies.
Yeah, okay. So this part here, the Supreme Lord, meditate without deviation. So it's completely absorbed in the Lord. Yeah. Now here, basically, at this stage of chanting, at dhyana, Krishna's presence becomes apparent in the sadhaka's external conduct. Yeah. Now, what that means is if you associate, or what you and who and what you associate with, knowingly or unknowingly, you take on the qualities. Yeah. Just like if you spend, if you spend 5 years in a, say you spend 5 years in America, 6 years or more, whether you like it or not, you're going to come back with an American accent. It's just, and we see that, isn't it? Yeah. So in the same way, one is actually associating with Krishna in a very deep way. So that's going to manifest in the qualities that they display, very pleasing, and all the qualities of Krishna, which is in Krishna, to some degree, is going to manifest in the sadhaka. Yeah, because they're getting that, because they're actually with Krishna, actually associating with Krishna in a very deep way, at least for minimum 2 hours a day, more, 3 or 4 hours a day. Yeah. So their external conduct's going to, and again, we see that in our respected advanced devotees and spiritual masters. And they're exhibiting the qualities of Krishna, very merciful, very kind, very compassionate. Yeah. And these, yeah. And then we have, okay, perhaps we'll pause here. Is that okay? And next week we'll pick up here. Okay. Now how this is going to unfold is let me just see what this is, part 5. Let me just bring up something here. I can see these are the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
you see here? So we're here.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to speak about samadhi here. Now at this stage, at these 6, 7, and 8, it's all going to be examples of devotees. On all pastimes of devotees have achieved these stages of Krishna consciousness, you know. So that comes after here. We're here. We're doing quite well, actually. We're here. And then we're going to start speaking about samadhi and the examples of samadhi of the different levels of devotees and their examples. And then ultimately perfecting trance is the example of the residents of Vrindavan and their wonderful absorption in Krishna at the stage of samadhi. Like that. Okay? That's where we're going to go. So please join us on this journey. Please continue on the roadmap of the holy name, a roadmap to love. Hare Krishna. Hope it's inspired you in your japa tomorrow to try and chant attentively, or maybe to invoke some remembrance of Krishna, whatever stage we're at. Okay. Any final
Hare Krishna.
comments? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
And same
Prabhu.
time
Thank you,
next
everyone.
week. Have a happy japa tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Blessed,
Krishna, Hare
blessed.
Hare. Hare
Please
Ram,
Hare Krishna.
Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Gaura Premanandi, Hare Bol.